Just levitate.
Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be telling you guys my top tips on anxiety and bullying and just how to overcome it all. So not many people know this, but I suffered, well, people know about it now, but at the time no one knew about it because I just looked like anyone else. So I started getting really depressed and anxious. It must have been about year 9, and to be honest it's only just fully gone away, but I still have my down days. The thing with anxiety is everyone has it in different ways, shapes and forms. So some people might just have their odd days where they're feeling bad. I'll just make it clear what I mean by I don't mean everyone, because not everyone goes through that, but if you do go through anxiety during these periods, it is okay to feel like that. That is completely fine. So my anxiety probably started when I was in around year 9, probably the end of year 8 to year 9, and that was just because I used to get really badly bullied. But it wasn't like the normal bullying you get. It was kind of like more over the internet, should we just say. But it was more like she'd be horrible to me in school, but when it came to text, she was very horrible to me as well. This girl I've not heard from in about 3 years, like without a joke, I've not heard from her in about 3 years. So I didn't really have any proof that I was getting bullied because no one ever really saw anything happen because it was all behind closed doors, and it's always, I feel like most people get bullied by people that they used to be friends with. Because if you've never been friends with them, then they can't judge you because they don't know who you are. Whereas when they're your friends, they think, oh yeah, I can judge you, you know? I don't know if that makes any sense, but that is just what I found from my perspective, because there's not one person I've heard that gets bullied from someone they've got no idea over. Obviously you have cyber bullies. Obviously you have actual bullies that are like mean girls in American movies and stuff like that. Obviously you have like actual bullies. But my specific case was, it was in school, but it was more like little comments, little snarky comments that everyone gets, but it was mainly through the internet. And I actually kind of wish I had the DM still and I could just screen share and crop the name out. But anyway, I don't even know how to start this because I've not thought about it in so long, but I just thought everyone's mental health is going downhill due to COVID-19, which is now 2021. COVID-19. So it started in 2019, it's 2021. So it's been going on for 2 years, all this COVID malarkey. So I feel like everyone's mental health went downhill probably like March until maybe like June. And then I remember I got brought back up from June until probably November. I was fine, like I wasn't feeling anxious or anything. And then from November, we then went back into little lockdowns, and then now obviously we're in total lockdown like we was back in March, and this is going to be on it for about 5 weeks, this complete lockdown. And then they're hoping once the 5 weeks comes around that the corona is sorted out and it's under control and there's injections for it and everyone can just breathe, and hopefully summer 2021 will be the best summer we've had, even though I had a really good summer last year because obviously we've been locked down from March till June, so everyone just went out when we were told that we could. So anyway, I just thought that I would share some of my experience and some of my tips, because this is probably the time that some people need the most, because I know how depressing it is thinking, well, not depressing is the wrong word, how bad the news is, you know, like how much it can affect people, and you never actually realise how much it's affecting people until they either reach out to you, or sometimes, I hate to say it, but it's too late, you know. I hate to say that and I'll probably get hate for that, but it's the truth. Lots of people suffer in silence, and this isn't talking to a person this way, it's more just listening and me giving my tips and opinions on it, because I feel like everyone has anxiety, everyone feels depressed, you know, everyone feels sad, everyone feels anxious, and I feel like just because you don't have it every day, it doesn't mean that you're not anxious and you're not depressed. Everyone's got them things that tick them off and they're like, I'm gonna have a panic attack. Everyone has it. The most perfect people, the people that act like they're all fine and nothing bothers them, everyone still has them down days, and everyone still doubts their own thoughts, if that makes sense. So I thought I would start it off. Obviously this is quite a quite a big deal for me. So if you, well, I'm going to turn the comments off anyway because I just cannot be bothered to hear everyone's opinions. Like, that's fine, that's your opinion, but then reflecting it back on what I'm doing when I'm just trying to help some people. If you're not interested in this sort of video, just don't watch it. No one needs your hate, you know? Even though I know that when you come on YouTube and you go on TikTok, you're going to get hate. You just are. That's just no outcome to say, no, you're not going to. Fucking Addison Rae probably gets hate, and Dixie D'Amelio, I know she gets hate because she, what was that thing about? It's over a stupid thing. It was over like a fish or something that she spit it out. I hate fish. If I got told I had fish, I'd spit it out. I don't care if it was on camera or not. It's not the cooking, it's just some people just genuinely don't like fish. But anyway, we're getting off topic. But everyone gets hate. Everyone gets people being rude to them. Everyone gets attacked, not attacked, but like feels like everyone's having to go at them. Everyone goes through stages of feeling as if everyone's looking at them in the class and you're like, what are you looking at? Everyone has them sort of things. That is completely normal. It is just, unfortunately, the way that this human race has been brought up is to give your opinions that don't need to be given. End of. So my anxiety probably started around year 9. I think it was probably, I want to say it was from like October until about March. They were my worst 4 or 5 months, definitely. So I had already had some things happen in December and November that were impacting me a lot. And this is... Had I? No, I hadn't. I hadn't even had that happen to me yet. So in year 9, I was... From year 7 to year 9, if you knew me, I was very quiet. I just got on with my work. Still failed, but I still just got on with it. I kept myself to myself, and I had like a few friends I could go and spend lunch with. That was it. And one of these girls was in this group that I used to be friends with, you know. I wasn't in their group, but I'd go up to them, I'd talk to them, I was friendly with them, I'd spend lunches with them sometimes. So we're going to call her Justine. We're going to call her Justine. Justine. Like from Trace Baker, we're going to call her Justine. So Justine didn't like that I was friends with certain people, and I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but she didn't like that I was friends with certain people and she wanted certain people to herself. Which, you know what, that's fair enough. If you want that, you go for that. I'm not sort of that person. I'm sort of person that will just be friends with whoever. Even if I really dislike the person, if I saw them upset, I'd still go up to them and check, because I know that, well, I'd hope that people do that for me as well. And I know from past people had done it to me as well. Because there's nothing worse than crying in the toilets. Like, genuinely there isn't at school when you're trapped. Because I know what it's like in school. You feel trapped and like you're stuck there and you can't get out. And I genuinely do not think that is what school is meant to feel like, but that is what you do feel like when you're at school. Some people love school, but I just genuinely dislike secondary school. I love junior school. I was friends with people, but then when I got to secondary school, people got up their own asses a bit and was just a bit like, I'm better than you, you do what I say, you know? That sort of thing. Because when I was in secondary school, I thought it was going to be like High School Musical, I'm not going to lie to you. And when I got there, I was very disappointed. I was like, no one breaks out into song and dance. Like, what? So I was really friendly with people in junior school, and most of the people that I was friends with from junior school went into secondary school. But obviously, as you're going from junior school to secondary school, year 7, still to this day, think they are the bollocks. Not all of them, but you get a group of them that think they're the bollocks. And you know what? At the end of the day, it wouldn't be secondary school without them people, because it just makes the other people stronger. And yeah, so I was friends with this group, and this girl didn't like Justine. She didn't like that I was friends with other people, and she made it very clear that she didn't like that I was friends with these few girls. So she did everything she could to get them away from me, stop them talking to me. I felt isolated in myself. I wasn't actually isolated. I just felt isolated in myself, and that I couldn't talk to anyone, I couldn't reach out to them because Justine didn't want me to. Or not, she didn't want me to, she wouldn't let them. So I was like, cool, whatever. So I went through a lot of year 9. I had a few good friends that were just there for me if I needed to talk to them, who I'm still friends with to this day, and just really friendly all in all. So I did still have a few friends, but I kind of had more friends outside of school. I used to have like just a few friends in school that I'd see at the weekends, but then I had mainly some friends outside of school that I just thought was enough, like that was fine. And one of them is Amber. Like me and Amber wouldn't really mingle in school. If we saw each other, we'd say hello, we'd pass by, we'd have a chat, but she was in the year above me, obviously, so she was off probably practicing for her mocks and stuff like that, whereas I would have just been in my year with the people in my year. But then obviously I knew that I had her outside of school, and if I was upset, she'd come find me and I'd go find her if she was upset, you know, you get me? So she was more of an outside friend, but now she's just an all-around friend, like best friend. So don't cry, Amber, because you called me after I mentioned you in my last video and you actually cried, so please don't cry, thank you. So I got to a point where I felt so low in myself that I had to have counselling. I had counselling for around 3.5 years. I still had counselling in year 11 because of this, what this Justine did to me. I still had counselling for about 3.5 years. I genuinely found school way too much, and with my school that I was at, there wasn't enough support bubbles. By the end of it there was, but that is just because people just spoke up and was like, you need to sort this out, to sort it out. So yeah, so that is what, when I originally started getting bullied and people being horrible to me, there wasn't a support system in place. But the more and the more people actually reported it, they put systems in place. So it came to a stage where I think it was December, so it was December of year 9, so it wasn't really an important year. We just picked our choices. It wasn't really important. So it came to the January or December where I couldn't actually handle school. So I would go in from about 8 until about 12 or 11, and I'd come home and I'd do the rest of my lessons at home. Because my biggest fear, still to this day, a school dinner hall scares the shit out of me. Genuinely, I do not know why, but I just think there's like 300 people in this room, and probably about 10 of them actually like me, and the other 290 probably slag me off on a daily. And because I would always be, not on my own, but I was quite confident just walking around school on my own. I wasn't one of them people that needs to be like attached to someone to go to the toilet on my own. Like, I wasn't like that. I've never really been like that. That is one thing I am confident, but the school dinner hall used to scare the shit out of me. So I used to always make sure that I'd gone home before lunch. Even if it was just at lunchtime, I'd go home, or sometimes I'd go home about an hour before. And I'd always do my lessons at home, depending on how anxious or how good or bad my day was. What I did find was really helpful, and I know everybody says this, but it is so helpful, is writing. Like, I've got this diary now where I have like mainly my YouTube stuff in here, but I have personal notes in here and like good things about my day that's happened. Like, I do diary entries in here, but this really did help. You can like, the thing with your diaries is your diary, and everyone that has a brain will know that if it's your diary, you don't go in it, because one, you might not want to know what that person said about you, and two, it's none of your business, because you can say whatever you want in your diary, because your diary is your safe space. You can hide it in your room so no one can see it, but no one should go around your room looking for it, because it is private. So I used to always write my anger out in this book. Well, not this book, but in a book. Or on my phone notes, and lock it, because obviously I can lock it. And it was just where I could reflect back on my day, see what happened. If anything bad happened, I could just reflect back and be like, all right, next time I'll do this differently, or next time I'll stand up to her, or next time I'll do da-da-da-da-da. It was just very, very helpful for me, and if it wasn't for my dad, I probably wouldn't have even found out about that, because my dad was the one that told me to do it, and I used to laugh at him, but it worked. So anyway, Justine was in my form, so I was in a form from year 7 until year 8, and then I moved forms, because I can't even remember why I moved forms. There was a reason I moved forms, I can't remember. So then I went into this form with Justine in, but obviously we were originally friends, so I wasn't really fussed, so I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then from year 8 until year 9, I was in that form, and then year 9 to year 11, I went back to my original form, because whatever had happened in that form had been resolved, or something like that, I'm not sure. And the minute I went, yeah.
Does that have a tape measure, or do you have a ruler that I could borrow?
In the box by the front door with the light, there's all like knitting stuff in there, so there should be one in there.
Brilliant, thank you.
That's alright. So, what was I saying? Oh, so I went back into my original form. So I managed to do, I'd done half days, whether I went in the morning or the afternoon. It just varied on the lessons. So basically, I'd always have maths, English, science in the same part of the day, so either the morning or the afternoon. So that's what I really needed. So I'd always make sure that I was in for that. So if I had maths, English, science in the afternoon, I'd go in for the afternoon. If I had it in for the morning, I'd go in the morning and come home. So it just panned out well, and it benefited me, and no one got in trouble as well, because I was still doing the crucial subjects I was meant to do. So it was all good. I would not advise that though, because where I went wrong is then I'd feel anxious going in the next day because I hadn't seen anyone for half a day, and at lunch, because that's when you usually catch up with people. So I wouldn't advise that if you're then nervous to go back into school. If it wasn't for my anxiety, I wouldn't have been nervous to go back into school. But because my anxiety, I did, and I dreaded going back to school the next day. So that was definitely not the right approach to do. So I would not advise you to do splitting days. I'd advise you just to find a safe place for lunch, or ask if you can go out for lunch with like a friend or your family, and just stick through the day pretty much. Usually when you get to year 11 or year 10, you're allowed to actually go out for lunch, and that would have been so much more easier, because it wasn't the people that I was friends with I was worried about. It was obviously Justine and everyone else. I used to care so much about what people thought about me, and I'm now at a stage where I do not give a flying fuck. I'm going to be honest. You can think what you want about me. I wouldn't have started YouTube if I was still like that, because everyone gets hate. But I do actually need to figure out, because everyone keeps saying, I can't see your comments. I don't know how to turn my comments back on. So if anyone does know how to turn my comments on, can you please leave that down below, just because I need to know. But anyway, we're getting off topic. So I suffered with the anxiety really, really badly. I had really bad thoughts running through my head. Even with the counsellor, my counsellor had to take me out of school several times because she didn't feel like the environment was safe for me, or I wasn't safe in the environment. I had loads of things going on with family as well at the time. Like, I had people in my family that weren't well. Not in ill, as in other ways not well. But I'm not going to get too much into detail with that, because I just don't think that's my place to say. But I had people that weren't well, not unhealthy, but mentally weren't well. That's the word. Mentally weren't well. And that's also how I was brought up, was with one of my parents, was my mum. She was quite unwell in the head. Mentally, depression, anxiety as well. Not that that's unwell, but I mean, she was to an extent unwell. So I had grown up with that, and I thought that some of the lessons that she taught me was right at the time, but did not help me in the long run, such as coming out of school early. She used to extend if I felt anxious, she'd probably dramatise it to about 100% to then make me feel like there's something actually wrong with me. So that is what happened with her, and I feel like if she hadn't have been like that, I wouldn't have been so dramatised. I wouldn't have felt so dramatised, like everyone was looking at me. It was just the way that I was brought up by her, which I completely disagree with now. But at the time, I was like 13, so I didn't really think, this isn't right, I never used to be the brainiest of people, let's just say that. I used to kind of just go along with what people say. Like gossip, I just go along with it. I'd be like, yeah, alright, that's fine, that's gossip, whatever. But anyway, so it got to about March. It'd been 3 months that I'd missed half days of school, so I probably missed about a month and a half of school overall. So obviously that's not good, but at that time school was the least of my worries, because I was like, I can just retake the year if I need to. It actually was going to come to an extent, if I stayed off anymore, I was going to have to retake that year, so I'd still be in year 11 now, but luckily I caught up and I was fine. But let me just say, do not do that, because it's probably one of the biggest mistakes of my life. because I missed out on all the fun that you had in other lessons, like history lessons. There was kind of a boring time, and like PE, always fun. So I did miss out on all the fun, and I just literally went to school for the boring stuff. So it got a lot better when I went back to my original form, and Justine was completely out of the picture, gone, disappeared into thin air, and I've literally not heard from her since. So if she'll know, if she's watching this, she'll know who I'm talking about. So I'd finally got level again, and I was all fine, happy, healthy. Spent a year and a half being really happy with some really good friends that I made, and very thankful for all them girls that I made that were friends. So it was all fine for about a year and a half, and then other stuff happened outside of school with an ex-person. We're just going to say ex-person. Things happened with him. We're just going to say him. We're not going to get into detail on that because that is a completely different story that I'm not saying today. So it then got to, I want to say February last year, so 2020 February. My anxiety picked up again so bad, like so bad, when things happened at home. So it wasn't no longer at school, because home had always been my safe place, and I currently now do have a safe place, and it is at home, but it wasn't at the time. So from about February till, I'd say at least May, my house was no longer my safe space. It's nothing that my dad done, it's nothing that my sister done. It was my mum. She was just being childish, should we say. So my mum left our house on the 24th of March. She decided she was leaving. So she left, and everything was all in the air. Obviously, everything was in the air. Corona was just here. Everything was just too much, and I would just resort to alcohol. Let's just say that. And it was bad. It was very bad how much I used to resort to alcohol. So I would always go out of Amber during the day for our walk, because we quarantined together. So we were in the same bubble and we quarantined together. And then I'd come home from our walk. We were only usually out about an hour on our walk. And then I'd come home and probably drink about, I want to say like either a bottle of wine or like a gin and lemonade, or like 6 of them. And I'd actually, like, it wouldn't be that bad if my dad knew about it, but he didn't. I used to sneak it out, and I used to go drink it in my room and cry my eyes out, be depressed, cry myself to sleep. I was just a complete mess. Like, genuinely, it fucked me up so bad. And I do not ever want anyone to ever say your parents splitting up is not a bad thing. It isn't a bad thing if it's for the right reasons. It wasn't for the right reasons when they split up. And it wasn't like we saw it coming. It was just an abrupt, I'm gone. Like, abrupt. So it just fucked me up so bad. I think it was probably for about 2 months I used to literally resort to alcohol every single night. I would be plastered out my face. Everyone would be telling me, what is going on with you? You're not yourself. And I'd just be like, this is the new me. This is me. I'm sorry, this is the new me. Get used to it. But it wasn't the new me. It was a cover act for how I actually felt. And there had been a past of alcoholics in the family, and that is one thing I knew that I didn't want to be. It was an alcoholic. So from about June, I scraped myself back up, and I went on, not a detox, but I just didn't drink. I maybe had like a glass of like Malibu and Coke once a week instead of every night. And it honestly felt so good to be able to say that I did resort to alcohol, and then I picked myself back up and I scraped myself, and I'm fine now. Like, I'm literally here doing dry January on the 5th of January 2021. I'm doing dry January. I have not had a drink in 5 days, but that's not the point. I'm still doing dry January because it just makes me feel so much better in myself to think that I don't need alcohol. I don't need alcohol to make myself feel good, you know? And it didn't make me feel good. It made me feel like absolute shit. The hangovers were bad, but it got so bad that I'd wake up and I didn't even feel the hangover because I used to drink so much. So I got to about May, June, and obviously everyone was allowed out from like July till like November, early November. Everyone was like, everything was going back to normal. Like we thought it was over and done, all done. We were just living our life. And here I am on the 5th of January 2021 telling you guys a story that I never thought I'd ever say, ever tell anyone, because nobody knows about... People know about the dark days, but they don't know about the dark days. And I've just literally poured my heart out for 26 minutes on my YouTube channel. So if you're still watching this, then hi. I am completely different to what I was last year. So, and I'm so proud of myself, and I know that every single one of you guys can do this as well. Like anxiety, everyone's going to get it. Everyone is going to get so pissed off that we are in quarantine. But do you know what? Just think, imagine by this time next year, it will fully have been gone. And if it hasn't, then I don't know what to say, because I don't even want to think about that, because I know it will be gone. We've got vaccines out and everyone's getting them probably this year. Everyone would have had one. And it's just going to be... Like, imagine how much more people are going to appreciate festivals and parties when all of this is over, or even just literally a friend coming over and having a sleepover. I'm not being funny. I'm 17 and I still get excited about people coming over. I love entertaining people. I love everything about it, and that's why I started the YouTube channel, because I enjoy making other people happy, making each other aware of each other, you know, helping each other out. I love that. I absolutely love doing that, and that is obviously why I'm on here. And I always get told by like Amber or Sam, like, what if you get hate? And I'm like, right, you're gonna get hate. Everyone's gonna get hate. You'll probably get hate on your Instagram post. My recent Instagram has been saved by 2 different people, and it was literally put up a day ago, and it's probably been sent around about 20 times. But I kind of think the right amount of loving yourself is perfect. It gets a bit ridiculous when you love yourself too much, and everyone knows you do. But if you love yourself and you feel confident in your own body, which everybody should, and confident in your own skin, then why not do it? Fuck it. It's 2020 freaking 1, you know? So I don't get bothered by hate. I really don't, because I just think that they've got nothing better to do in their life than hate on other people's things, because they'll always point out their insecurities. So if they go, oh, your head's massive, it's probably because they feel like they've got a massive head and they're just trying to have someone to relate to. So if they do give you hate, just be like, thank you, that's fine, because it just means they've got nothing better to do with their life. And yes, it can affect people. If you get like death threats and all that, that's just unacceptable. But a bit of hate on each TikTok or Instagram or YouTube channel isn't going to harm you. It's only going to make you stronger. So that is my opinion on hate, is when you sign up for YouTube or TikTok or whatever, you are going to get hate. You are signing up to get that 10% of hate and 90% of love. You're going to get that. But it's never the love that people will remember. They always remember the hate. I think someone's about to come in. That is like one tip I would say. And with anxiety, it's just be yourself, and if someone doesn't like it, then that's their loss, it's not yours. Because if you're yourself, you're not fake, and you're just completely honest with them, that is their fault. That if they want to walk away, that's their fault, not yours at the end of the day. So I just say, just be true to yourself with anxiety. Like, just admit it. Just be like, yeah, I have got it, but I'm working on myself and I'm going to get through it. Just like everyone else in this world is trying right now, because everyone is going through stuff at the moment. And that's what you've got to remember. When you're going through stuff, there is always people much worse off than you. Let's say your birthday gets cancelled because of corona. Just think someone's family could be waiting for that call because they're in, because one of their family members are in hospital in a critical ward where they could be dying, and you're worrying about your birthday, missing it. At least you're still alive. At least you're still as healthy as you can be at that time, and at least you're still getting a birthday. It's just not going to be the same birthday. But when everyone comes out of quarantine, we can celebrate. That's the difference. whereas some people aren't going to make it out the hospital, and we're all moaning that we're missing our birthday or missing a wedding or whatever. They can all be rebooked. You can't rebook a life. That's literally what I'm saying. I'm getting really deep right now, and I am going to stop because we didn't sign up for that. We just signed up for tips and tricks for anxiety. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys want to leave hate, that is fine. Go for it. I'm not scared of it. Just go for it, you know. I hope you guys are all doing as well as you can in these really tough times, because everyone knows how tough it is. We don't need a monologue of it pretty much on your story saying how tough your life is right now. We all know how tough it is. We're all going through tough times. Just, if you need anyone, text your friends, text me on my Snapchat, on my Instagram. Don't go around putting massive paragraphs on Snapchat. Actually, go for it. If you want to do that, you can do that. But that's just going to cause more attention, and people are going to think, oh my God, look, you can't even just ask someone for help. DMs are always open. Snapchat's always open. Just message me or message someone in your family. Talk to someone, and I promise you now, it will feel so much better once you've got it off. It'll be like a weight's been lifted off your shoulders. So I hope you guys did enjoy this very long video for me. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, turn the notification bell on, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Hi guys, just wanted to come in and add in just to this little end of the clip that if you guys have taken this please do not take this guys personally. This is just my tips and tricks of how I've dealt with it, my little story, and I'm just basically saying that if you do feel low, that is completely fine. It's not expected, but you know what? We're all going through a pretty crap time at the moment, and do not single yourself out just because you feel like you're really anxious, because many people are feeling like that at the moment in the world, but I just do not want people to get the wrong end of the stick and think that I'm putting everyone into a big category when that's not the case at all. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I will see you guys in the next video.